Welcome back to Dream to Evolve podcast, your destination for inspiration. I am so excited to introduce my next guest. This person has been a part of the beauty and cosmetology business for the last 20 plus years. And somehow she keeps reinventing herself. She keeps finding new ways to set the bar higher. I'm so excited to introduce you all to JenGer Doll. Welcome to the show, JenGer Doll. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing amazing.
That is wonderful. Welcome to New York.
Yes, and I am loving it here.
So let's dive right in. Let's talk a little bit about your dreams and interests. Think back to when you were in high school.
Okay.
I know that you played basketball, but you were also someone who was always really excited about beauty and being a part of the beauty industry, with a background of having family members who have been trailblazers in the industry. Talk to me about balancing hoops and hair in high school.
So in high school, I played basketball, and I also participated in other sports as well, such as track, dance squad, of course, basketball. One of the ones that I was more consistent with throughout my life was basketball that carried me throughout up into high school. And hoops and hair really comes from being between basketball and the beauty industry. So I'm 4 generations in as a barber cosmetologist.
Wow.
My mom had a salon. My family had a family salon. My grandfather was a barber. So I am like 4 generations in the beauty industry. And so navigating both of those things, it looked like, hey, I go play basketball, go run up and down the court. I sweat my hair out, and my mom would have me come in to get a good shampoo, condition, and style. So I always had health in hair and health in my body, physical realm because of the sports.
Yeah.
So that is one of the ways that I got into both basketball and the hair because of the family legacy and generations within the beauty industry.
Yeah. So what was your dream? Because it seemed like you were really passionate about basketball, and I think you even got a basketball scholarship for college. Did you always know you wanted to go into hair, or did you have aspirations to do something different?
It's funny that you asked that because I always loved playing basketball. But I loved it more so because it taught a lot of different things, such as discipline. It kept me in shape. And I enjoyed the game without limitations in saying, hey, I can make it to the NBA. It was just like I knew how to do it. I loved it. So I participated in playing basketball. When it came down to getting my hair done, my mother had to force me to get it done. So it was a thing like, oh, it's time for your hair to get done. And I'm like, oh, Mom, but it still looks good. Why do I have to come get it done? Because I always wanted to go play a sport or do something else.
Yeah.
I still was a girly girl, but I just felt like I wanted to go play a lot more. But I did enjoy fashion. So it never took, just because I didn't want to get my hair done, I still enjoyed the fashion beauty industry in that aspect as well.
Yeah.
So in high school, all 4 years, I had played varsity all 4 years. I was a starter all 4 years. And also my last year in high school, I received a scholarship for basketball.
That's amazing.
Yes. And in that transitional space between graduating and going to the next step of my life and career, I had to make some choices, whether I was going to go for the scholarship or if I was going to do something else. And there were some different stumbling blocks in between making that decision because I was expecting a child. And so I had to make life-changing decisions at that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what was that like? How did you balance making this decision? Because this isn't a unique story, right? A lot of people face some sort of thing that happens where they have to kind of pivot or shift, their idea of what the dream is and how to still attain it. So with you always wanting to, pursue a career in the beauty industry, how did that shift the narrative for you?
What I do love about sports is it teaches you a lot of different discipline things, such as being able to prepare for whatever comes your way.
Right.
So it teaches you so many life skills that in that space, you had to make the decision on, okay, there's changes going on. How do you adjust? And the adjustment, it's not always easy, but you definitely have to take that time and say, hey, what does that playbook look like?
Right. Right. The playbook. I
What
love
does that
that.
playbook look like? Okay. So yes. Okay. You've been doing this leading up into this moment. So, I started my transition, after high school to prepare to have a child and to go into the beauty industry. And what that looked like for me was saying, hey, okay, I've had other jobs. I had several other jobs. Also in high school, I had externship working at my mom's salon. So I had hours accumulated so that if I wanted to go into the beauty industry, I already had externship hours. All I had to do was go to school to apply those hours. And that was one of the decisions I made, was to take the career into the generational beauty industry of my parents and my aunties and my grandfather. So I decided to go to college for that, for barber cosmetology. Yes.
That's amazing. And it just goes to show that, you know, education, there's always room, there's always space. It's always necessary to get training, to get education, no matter what your dream is. And I'm really happy that you were able to make that transition. So let's talk about balancing school, balancing work, balancing motherhood. How did all of that line up for you? And what advice would you give to someone who's also in a similar situation, who's balancing all of those things at once?
Okay. So making the decision that sacrificing now will prepare you better for your future.
Yes.
Yes. So if you take the time to say, hey, let me get my credentials, let me get everything that's needed right now. It's harder, but you're younger. You have the energy to pivot, fluctuate. You have the energy at that moment. You never want to be put in a situation where you decided not to take that opportunity to get your credentials first, and then you have the opportunity later, and you can't embark on it because you don't have the right credentials to take you forward in that space, or the proper resume to push you forward. So no matter how talented you are, but if you don't have the background and the education behind it that's needed, you can hinder yourself. So I always recommend making sure that you take the proper steps that'll lead you to your future, because it will lead you in a better pathway.
Yeah, absolutely. And education for you didn't stop there, because you've, you know, been able to, like I said, reinvent yourself and keep moving the bar, keep pushing, you know, higher and getting bigger, you know, over the years. So having a 20+ year career, how do you keep things interesting?
Okay, that is so fun right there. That is a fun question, because, you know, when you have dreams and they don't go as planned, or you don't think they're going as planned, you always have to remember your dream, because there are so many different ingredients to that making that dream happen. It's never, oh, I'm going a straight path. You have, well, you're going over here, you're going over there, but all things are working together for your good. So while I was in school for cosmetology, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I wanted to be a celebrity stylist. And I said, okay, well, my mom was always like, you know, in the beauty industry, it's so big, it's so broad. It's so many avenues that you could take and do. You are limitless in that space. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me tap in. I am ready. Okay. And so I finished school, and one of my first things I did at 25, I opened up my first hair salon.
Wow.
Yes.
At 25?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I was 25. I opened up my first hair salon. It was an amazing journey. It was ups and downs. It was excitement in the beginning. Then, you know, you keep getting excited. Then sometimes you're like, okay, you know, certain things happen, like your health can be compromised in that space, but you have to show up for your clients and other people. And so I had my first salon for 5 years. And in that space, I've had a lot of different hair shows. I toured around the world, went to a lot of different hair shows, such as different ones in different places and different areas. So I was very excited to get the ball rolling in that space. And I stayed motivated because I really enjoy my clients. I really enjoy making their hair look beautiful, healthy. So I enjoyed what I did. So that's what motivated me and kept me consistent and wanting to grow and expand, to keep being knowledgeable and keep knowing how to, let's say, to keep them educated and to keep them climbing the ladder as well with how to show up for their selves every day. So.
Yeah. So it's really interesting you opened your first salon at 25 years. I really just want to stress that point because there are so many young people who are pursuing entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But from the outside looking in, you don't see the sacrifices that are made. You don't understand sometimes what tools are required to be an entrepreneur. So can you talk to the young people who may be looking to pursue, their own business? They don't want to work for someone else. They have a dream. They have an idea that they, want to push forward. What tools are necessary to be successful?
One, God.
No, that's right.
Oh, number one is God. Okay. Because
Yes.
he gave you that vision and that dream.
Yes.
Number two, I would recommend a mentor, most definitely, because I've had mentors all around me in the beauty industry. So my mom, my auntie, my grandfather, with it being generationally in my family, my whole family showed that every day. They show beauty every day. So you always had that mentor reflection right in front of you, but everybody don't have that in front of them.
Right.
So when you get the vision from God, you always have reference to what he told you to do, and that he will always make sure you're good.
Yeah.
And when you get the mentor is to help you to not do things that they had to go through.
I love that.
Yes. You don't want to have to go backwards when somebody already paved the way for you to go forward.
Yes.
So it's important to really get a mentor and stick with that. And sometimes people say, oh, I got a better way. That step by step with that mentor really helps you. And you have somebody to talk to when you feel like you're not encouraged, but they're going to say, I've been there before. And they're able to oversee that for you. Like, oh, you can overcome this.
Right.
This looked like this. But in this day and age, so many people are looking for instant gratification.
Right.
They're looking for it to be just microwaved, popped off and going, and it's able to be seen. But you miss so much if you try to rush the process.
Right.
You miss all of the blessings. You miss the gems. You miss so much.
That's good.
And you don't want to have to backtrack and go backwards to say, I missed it when I was there. You want to take it all in, endurance, and understand that, oh, this is a part of the journey. Because once you plant those seeds, it takes time for them to grow.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So you work on, you work behind the chair, but you also step away from the chair quite often to evolve and to grow your business and to grow your skill set.
Yes.
And as I mentioned before, education didn't end for you when you got your barber and cosmetology license.
Absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about the pivots that have happened while you have been paving the way and doing hair. What are some of the other things that you've done besides shows and hair?
Okay, so it's so much.
Right.
It is so much. It's like, okay, where do we start? Well, at JenGer Doll, we offer other things such as I do medical wigs. So I'm a cranioprosthetic specialist. And at JenGer Doll Medical Wigs and Accessories, what we do is we provide cranioprosthetics for patients that are suffering from hair loss.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And actually, it's so interesting that today that is one of the avenues that we have grown to in the business because, again, my mentor, they specialized in the Essence magazine in 1997 for alopecia around the world.
Yeah. And I think even more recently, the topic came up with Jada Pinkett Smith talking about alopecia. And now, more people are talking about it these days.
Yes.
Again.
Yes, absolutely. So me being able to grow, it still stemmed from me, my legacy and my mentors, because they trained me based on what it is that they do, specialize in healthy hair, educating people in the beauty industry on how to have healthy hair, healthy scalp, and a healthy life.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand, in order to achieve the health in the hair, it's in the cosmetic, it starts from the inside.
Absolutely.
And that's what my business, we do. We start from the inside out, because the growth come on the outside, but it's all based on what you put in. And in order for us to keep up with teaching these things, it was like, okay, so if their hair is not doing what they want it to do, and they're not seeing the results, we have to teach from a different perspective, a different standpoint. So yes, here I go again between the mentors and God. I asked God, what is it that he wanted me to do based on this vision and the purpose and what he's allowed me to do for so many years and be successful at it. He told me, yeah, this is the next step. You had the pivot point you have to do in order for the vision that he has for the dream to go forth. And so what we did was we decided to open up a hair loss clinic, which is JenGer Doll Medical Wigs and Accessories. And what we do there is we partner with physicians, oncologists, dermatologists, insurance companies, so that we could provide cranial prosthetics for patients that may be going through chemo. Also that has alopecia, and anything that medically causes hair loss is what we specialize in at the hair loss clinic.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Especially because people who are experiencing hair loss for clinical reasons, they're already going through so much.
Absolutely.
And to be able to transform people's energy and, you know, provide that boost of confidence through hair and beauty is just such an amazing thing. So kudos to you for doing that. That's really incredible.
Thank you.
Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the other programs that you offer? So it goes beyond medical wigs. So tell us a little bit about some of the other programs that you've been able to stand up since you've started your career.
Okay. Well, we do have a nonprofit organization called Renew Collective, and that is based around people who are less fortunate or don't have the means at the time because they're going through health conditions or maybe going through a transitional point in their life where they still want to be able to show up every day the best versions they can. You know, just because we may go through things, I've been through things, doesn't mean we have to look like it. You still want to show up and be able to conquer it and feel good and motivated in that space of, yeah, it might be a little tough today, but I look good doing it, you know? So that's another one, our nonprofit, which is called Renew Collective. Yeah. We also have Mommy and Me classes. Oh, I love those so much because when you think about Mommy and Me classes, what we do is we allow the parents to understand more about how to maintain their kids' hair. Because a lot of parents, of course, it's kind of expensive to take your kids to the salon on a regular basis to keep their hair healthy. Yeah. And so our goal was to, if we can teach the parents how to do their child's hair, we could gain a good relationship. So then when they do bring them in to see the professional, we're seeing the results that is needed versus taking us backwards. We're seeing the hair grow. We're seeing it be healthy and flowy, because it makes no sense for a mother to bring their child to come see me, for me to just do every 6 months, every 3 months, trims and deep conditioners if it's not being applied on a day-to-day basis. Right. And so I found that we weren't moving forward, and I like to see results. Right. I like to see results. So, you know, I was like, okay, we have to get these Mommy and Me classes going on because the mothers need to know how to do their kids' hair. Also, it's really good space to see your kids excited to get up and look beautiful and show up for school confidently. Yes. Because one thing I know, when I was growing up, my mother made sure our appearance was nice, beautiful, looking good, hair was nice, clothed, clean, going to school. And so that means you can focus in school. You know, that bullying thing happens because sometimes you're not able to go do certain things and people are picking on people because you didn't have the means. So our whole goal was to allow parents to say, hey, you know, today is not our hair salon day, but it's Mommy and Me day. And with Mommy and Me, what we finna do is we're going to sit here, we're going to bond, we're going to connect, we're going to make sure that you're looking the best way you can. So when you go to school, you're feeling the best to get that education with no distractions. Okay.
I love that.
To say, hey, I can dream big and this is what I want to be. Yeah. It starts as a child.
It does.
Train up a child in the way he or she should go. Yeah. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. So if you start as a kid, they're going to be able to grow into exactly what it is, and they'll have the knowledge to be able to carry them to their future selves. Carry that dream with them and say, hey, I want to go to college and do the barber cosmetology because I was fly all the time in school. My mommy and me, we had our days, you know?
I love that.
So that is another one of our programs we offer. And we do have a couple other ones that we offer as well. So, and that one is foster parenting and foster parenting classes as well. So, you know, sometimes, you know, in those spaces, you are not sure what to do as well. So we have a program for that program as well that we offer on our website.
Caring for all textures, right?
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
And empowering mothers to, you know, feel good about caring for their children and, you know, seeing the smiles, seeing them light up just from like them touching their own kids' hair. You know,
absolutely.
I really love that. So great work there.
Thank you.
Can you talk to young people who are aspiring to enter into the beauty industry? I think more recently, a lot more women are empowered to do hair.
Yes.
Not just doing hair, but also creating their own beauty products.
Yes.
There's so many. There's been an influx of beauty products that are for minority women, for Black women. So can you talk to the younger people who are planning to enter into this industry? What advice would you give them?
Okay. So I would recommend that the first starting point is getting educated. Education takes you, it's like my mom used to say, education is like a Visa or MasterCard. Don't leave home without it.
Ooh.
Okay? So when you have that knowledge, you can go any and everywhere.
Yes.
That is the first key. We live in an era nowadays where people have the craft, but they don't have the education. And a lot of people are misled by the beauty industry as a barber cosmetologist. And what we do is we're here to keep the clients safe, sanitation, sterilization, bacterialization. And we teach they teach the basic fundamentals on how to build from that, and how not to transmit diseases from patient or client to client. And we're missing so many of those steps. People are missing so many of those steps, but just going into the styling. But it's so much hazard in between that space. And you don't want to get caught up in that era because you're just styling and there's no nourishment there. And there's nothing behind it but a cute style. Then later down the line, the hair will not be there anymore.
Right.
So I want to encourage anybody that's looking to be in this industry, get educated, because it's going to take you a lot further than just saying, oh, I could go do this because it's on TikTok.
Right.
Or I can go do it because it's here. Get educated and say, oh, I'm doing it because I know this is what needs to be done. And you feel so much better when you know and you can see and you can read the hair. It makes your job so much easier. You don't have to maneuver. You know why it's doing what it's doing, when it's doing it. You know the different seasons change the hair. You know that, okay, in this season, it's going to do this. Oh, I have to use this product. So if you want a product line, if you want a hairline, you have to get the education to know what you're doing, why you're selling it, who you're selling it for, because everybody have different hair textures and types. And if you don't know that basic information and the foundation of what this industry has and what it does, you like I said, you don't go that far. So we want you to soar. Like an eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And so let's start with the first steps and remember your dream on why you started, because that is what's going to carry you in the hard times.
So this podcast is called Dream to Evolve. When you think about your dream to do hair and the evolution that you've experienced in the last 20 plus years that you've been doing hair, how would you describe your journey? What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
I've learned to never give up no matter how hard it gets, because all of those things that I've been through in the beauty industry, or my life, you know, it's not always the industry, it's your life at the time and everything that's going on. It all plays a part into your future. Every last piece. So when there were ups and downs and seeing, those were times that I went in prayer, and those were times where I took to shift and pivot to see, hey, well, what is the next step? How can I engage people more, or how can I contribute more in these spaces to allow people to say, do you see the vision? People don't see the vision. God gave you the vision, so you have to bring it to the people. So you have to keep going back to the person that gave you the dream, which is God, to ask them what is next.
Yeah,
and He'll sit you down sometimes to say, hey, I'm knocking on your door to let you know the way I didn't mean for you to go this way. You're going the wrong way. Right. You got to go this way. So sometimes that happens in things that's like, oh, what's going on? And you're like, oh, okay, Lord, I've been doing this for a whole season. Okay, what are you trying to say here? Because He'll sit you down and say that. But always understand the dream of why you started, and understand that there will be ups and downs. There will be hurdles, but those are all learning curves, because where you're going and what you're dreaming requires you to be able to navigate through certain things, certain situations to overcome. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Being able to overcome and still love that dream. That's how you know it's your dream, when you don't stop and give up.
Yeah.
Because you keep going. You say, oh, no, that, we gonna keep going. We gonna keep pushing. Yeah. You're not gonna stop and say, oh, that was, let me go this way. You're gonna say, nope, I still want to do it.
Right.
I still want to do it. And so you're going to keep finding ways to show up for your people and for people to feel good. You're going to continue to show up. And so that's how you know to say, okay, in this space of going through so many different challenges, ups and downs, you don't quit. Mm-hmm. You don't quit.
And is that your purpose, do you think?
To not quit? No.
To make people feel good.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. That is my purpose. I enjoy making people feel good, look good. Matter of fact, I enjoy for people to show up the best versions of themselves in the world, and to see what I see. Yeah. Sometimes I can see more than they see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know how you look beautiful? You know, encouraging, because you don't hear it a lot enough. And then sometimes you get discouraged when you don't see that reflection. Mimicking back what you're really working at, what you're doing, how you're doing it, you know? So you have to, when you're not getting cheered, you still have to say, I know I'm doing a good job. I know it's going the way it should, because you don't always get that reflection.
Right.
So it's not always the cheers and the congratulations that get you there. It's that time where you can reflect back on yourself and look over the different things that you've been through, the different things that you've overcome, to say, hey, do you know you're doing a good job. Yeah. You're doing an amazing job. And that is the same thing that I do for myself. I do for my clients. I want them to be able to say, I want to say, like, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Show up, go do your big one for your dream. Whatever it is that my clients want to do, you know, I'm always there to encourage them, to push them and look beautiful doing it.
Yeah. So you have so many jobs.
Yes, absolutely.
You're empowering mothers. You're making people feel good, look good. And you're also just boosting people's, self-esteem and helping to push them to follow their dreams. So that's incredible. And, I can't congratulate you enough on all the things that you've accomplished and all the things that you've, developed and built for your clients. So I'm really excited that you were able to be a part of the show.
Yes, me too. I am so excited. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Dream to Evolve. Do you want to leave any lasting pieces of advice or words of wisdom?
If there's anything that you want to do, do it. I would recommend that you push to do it. Don't let anybody or anyone stop you, because that dream and that vision is yours, and it's for you to carry and for you to see it through, because in the world we need more of you.
More of you. I love that. We're going to end right there. Thank you. More of you.
Yes.
And follow Dream to Evolve on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you can hear more great interviews. But thank you so much, JenGer Doll, for coming to the show. We're really excited that you were able to make it out here to New York and tell us about, your career. We're really excited about all the things that you have going on, and keep making the world look better, feel better, and do better.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
This podcast series is proudly brought to you by the From a Butterfly Scholarship Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization designed to help transform lives through scholarship, mentorship, and by providing additional resources to help students along their journeys. Visit fabscholars.org to learn how you can make a difference today.